Hello friends, I am Dr. Shweta Sethi, Professor, Himalayan School of Management Studies, Swami Rama Himalayan University. In my part 3 video, we had a discussion on where do trade unions stand now? What is the existing scenario of the trade union movement in India? In this video, that is part 4, we will be discussing that what is the future ahead for the trade unions in India. Now, when we talk of the futuristic strategy for the trade union, there are 4 strategies out of which any of the strategy can be adopted. We will discuss them one by one. Number 1 is the strategy of marginalization, which is Patan. Marginalization, which says that you are on a decline, the future for trade unions in India is very, very threatening. So, you accept it and you survive till you can, and then you accept the decline. Second strategy is dualization. Now, dualization says that you work and function strongly in the area which is your existing area, like most of the unions today in India. They are in the formal sector, the organized sector. So there are so many sectors in the population which are not being covered by the trade union activity, like youths are not a very, very substantial part of the trade union. You do not have the gig and the platform workers as a part of the trade union. You have very lesser number of women who are a part of the trade unions. Millennials are less as the trade union members. You accept it and you are just focusing on the area where you are operating right now, that is your formal organized sector area, and a sector of population where who are a prominent part of your trade union base, and you do not explore any new areas for the survival. Now, third strategy is replacement. That is because you are on a decline, because you are not doing well, so there are other forums who replace you. Like it is very, very obvious that we started with the labor unions and then we came to the trade unions. Like labor unions were formed by the social reformers who were like Lokhande. He used to run a newspaper like Deen Bandhu Express, where he used to go for write-ups for raising the voice for the textile workers who were facing the exploitation from the management. And he was a labor reformer and was running a labor union movement. And then the Trade Union Act came into force, where this was given a statutory standing, the trade union formation. Now, we started from labor unions, and maybe the social reformers again they replace you because you are not doing well. Maybe NGOs tomorrow they replace the trade unions. Maybe we have workers' participation forums in the industry and they replace the trade unions. So, this is the replacement strategy where you accept that because we are on a decline, maybe some other associations they replace the trade unions, and trade unions becomes a past tense. And then the fourth strategy, which is very, very important for discussion, that is revitalization. Now, revitalization is that you have the medicine of revital and you go for a second life, more energetic life. So, revitalization says that you adopt certain strategies, you go for certain innovations through which you are able to fight the challenges you are meeting right now. So, out of these 4, if we say that what is the ideal one and which can give you good results, is revitalization, because we have seen so many examples in the international context like Australia, South African trade unions. We have seen that they adopted some revitalization strategy and that has shown a sudden upsurge in their trade union activity. So, what is the path for revitalization? How can we revitalize? So, to revitalize, number 1 is we can go for meeting the needs of the underrepresented workers. As I have discussed in my earlier videos also, that the substantial part of the trade union members is a specific sector, is we have big industries, we have the trade unions operating in the organized sector, then too not the whole population is a part of the work of your trade union membership base, because we do not have young workers, the millennials, we do not have gig workers, we do not have the contract labor employees who are a part of your workforce. That's a very, very substantial part of your workforce. The contract labor abolition and say the contract labor employment act says that almost 50% of employees you can keep as contract labor, and most of the manufacturing units, they are doing so. This is a substantial part of your workforce, but you will not find them as the members of the trade unions. Then the millennials, who are the old workers are retiring, and the millennials, they are a substantial part of your workforce. They are not interested in your trade union membership. Then the gig workers, the platform workers, who are they? The gig workers, the platform workers who are working as the freelancers. These are the employees who are working as you see the delivery executives who are there in Amazon, in Swiggy, Zomato. These are your gig and platform workers. Your freelancers are your gig and platform workers. They are not a part of your trade union membership base. So this is an opportunity to revitalize. We can go for an increase in our membership base by having the diverse work groups. So we need to adopt certain strategy. We need to have a social dialogue platforms where we can have these young workers, gig workers, contract employees who are being motivated to form a part of your trade union. But for that, you need to have a social dialogue with them. Like for an example, in Telangana, we have seen that Gig and Platform Workers Union was formed in 2021, and it is a trade union of the independent worker-led union, and they're doing well. So these kind of initiatives have to be there by every trade union which is operating in the industry in Indian scenario. Second is we have to speak and act as one. Okay, before I talk of speak and act as one, when I say that the millennials are not a very substantial part of your trade union membership base, I will also give you an example of it. Like this is again an example where you can see that the trade union membership has fallen the fastest among the young people. If you see this pink one is all employees. Yes, they are not, the membership is on a decline. But this blue and green one, blue is your the 16 to 19, 16 to 19 is this one, middle one. This is again, sorry, this one which is on a decline. They do not want to form a part of your trade union. And 20 to 24, again we see that. So as compared to the general population which is declining, we see that they are not at all interested in forming a part of your trade union. So this is again showing, this data depicts that it is a very good opportunity for the trade unions to lure them, to have a social dialogue with them, so that millennials feel interested in forming a part of your trade union. They can go for active participation in the trade union. Second is we have to speak and act as one. As I have discussed in my earlier video about the IR code, which states that if you have one negotiating union, if you have one union in the industry, then that is the sole negotiating union. And if you have more than one, then there are specific clauses attached to it. So the challenge is now, if you really want to have the representation as a sole negotiating union, you need to speak and act as one, because there is no change in the Trade Union Act section which states that any 7 or more number of people, they can form a trade union. It stands there today itself. But now, if you really want to be recognized as a sole negotiating union, you need to have either one union, or if there are multiple unions, need to have almost 51% of your members from the population who is on the muster roll of the company. So the challenge is that you need to speak and act as one if you want to get that recognition of negotiating union. If you are multiple and your average membership is declining, if you have very small sized multiple unions in the industry, no union is getting the recognition as negotiating union, and there is no purpose of the existence of the union if they are not being recognized for the purpose of bargaining or negotiation. So speak and act as one. Now this is a challenge, but then if you see this example, this is an example where Tata Steel is showing you some sort of success goal story which says that 100-year-old trade union. So we have examples of multiple trade unions failures, but we do have examples of the unions who are speaking and acting as one. They are showing a very long survival story. And the trade union, workers union, the Tata Steel Workers Union, this is the strong union that has been existing for the last 100 years. And when it was being asked to the trade union president, he states that the secret to our longevity is our working style. We work together with the management and there is a trust factors, and we have issues and demands, and sometimes it takes time to come to a decision, but the bottom line is trust. And I will tell you here that for the last so many years, there have been differences, but there were no strikes despite the massive initiative. 78,000 people in 1991, the workforce was brought down to 40,000 in the next 10 years, a massive retrenchment which can show a backlash. But then in spite of this massive retrenchment, we have seen that there were no strikes for the last so many years. And they go for automation, they go for so many things. We want the company to be strong because the workers, they challenge the automation because they feel that automation will take away their jobs. But the Tata's Workers Union has had only 11 presidents in its near 100 years, which is a strong office bearer existence. The reason is they keep the politics out. I discussed that you are free to have political affiliations, but the Tata Workers Union, they say that we are not political, we keep good relations with all political parties, but we keep a distance because we want the trust factor to be maintained with the management. So this was a success story, and which is an example. If you speak and act as one, you have a long survival. And the last path for the revitalization can be strengthening your union internal governance. That is, internal governance, internal jurisdiction has to be strong, has to be strengthened, so that nothing goes out of the industry, everything is maintained within the industry. And this is the path of revitalization. Again, this is not an exhaustive list of the strategies that can be adopted for revitalization, but the important ones are being highlighted in this presentation. The one more important thing that has to be done to revitalize is the incorporating the issues that matter to workers today and tomorrow into the social dialogue. Gone are the days when you can just bet on the militant activities and improve your membership base. You have to be innovative. You have to use innovative strategy, have social dialogue on different areas which are other than the older ones, that is demanding good wages and good working conditions. Like the trade unions now, they need to talk, have a social dialogue on the technology, the climate change, how can we go for sustainable development and the sustainability in the business, what can we do of the gender issues, how can we have equal pay for people working in the organizations, how do we deal with the violence and harassment at work, how can we go green, have a greener economy. And this is not that has not been used by the other trade unions. In international context, like we have seen South Africa, United States, trade unions of these countries, they have been working with NGOs, and they have broader civil society and the broader civil society on the environmental issues. So these untouched issues, they need to be incorporated in the social dialogue, so that you are able to influence the millennials, the young workers, and they are lured to have a participation in your trade unions. So thank you so much. I hope you find this video useful. Have a nice day.